Hi and welcome to this tutorial. Today we're going to focus on the question, how do you handle criticism? Everybody faces criticism at some point in their working life, and it could be from a colleague, it can be a boss, it can be from a customer. Sometimes it's justified, sometimes it can be delivered without fact. Having a positive response always helps, and this is the key skill as to whatever industry you work in, because pressure will be there, criticism will be there. Hence the reason interviewers want to understand how you react. Like with any interview skills question, the key to answering this effectively is to use an example. And to help you structure your thoughts more clearly, we use an acronym called CAR. CAR stands for C, context. So where were you working? What was the situation? What was the criticism? The A means what are the actions? What actions did you take to actually overcome the criticism? And R means what was the result of those actions? So it's a clear beginning, middle, and end. Now to give a sample answer using the acronym CAR. During my role as a software developer, I was working with a client who was very critical of a product I designed for them. They said it didn't deliver what was required, but were very aggressive and threatened to use another company, even to abandon the idea. Further pressure and criticism was applied from my managers, as this was a really large project that could potentially deliver a lot of revenue. The action I took was not to interpret the criticism as negative, but to see it as an opportunity to solve a problem and not to take it personally. I listened to the criticism, took note, and looked to improve. I spoke with people in my team, trusted mentors, to seek their advice and experience. I stayed focused on solving the problem and not on the negativity and pressure applied by others. And then I looked to take corrective action to test and improve and to keep the dialogue open with all parties. I then planned for a presentation and further demonstrations to prove the changes that I've made and to prove that I could overcome these challenges and deliver a quality product. The result was the criticism was forgotten when I made the necessary adjustments and they met the requirements of the customer. The discipline and the desire to detach myself from the problems and focus on actually solving them meant that within 2 months the software was accepted by the customer and it's still implemented to this day. The most important factor when facing criticism, in what I've learned, is not to let it affect you emotionally and look to solve your problems positively for all parties involved. And that's my approach, and that's how I handle criticism. So there's an example of how to answer the question. Again, you can see where CAR is used in this. So where was the person working? Obviously in IT. The role was software developer. The situation was the criticism for not developing a particular product. Then you can see the actions of how they've listened, they've taken notes, they've gone away to speak to people, they've not let it affect them emotionally, and the result it's actually been rectified, the problem has been solved, and the software is being used to this present day. Again, what you've got to remember here is that nobody wants to employ a hothead. Nobody wants somebody who's going to use kind of force or foul language or going to go off in a strop because something's happened. Again, everybody faces criticism. We are emotional beings. Everybody reacts differently. People become frustrated, angry. But really, the key thing is being able to detach yourself from the criticism and address the problem and solve it effectively to overcome the criticism in a positive manner.